I want to take a moment to reflect on some thoughts I've been developing around artificial intelligence and continue to develop. This perspective is rather unfinished, so take it with a grain of salt. These thoughts could change and probably will change, but I want to get a better wraparound about what AI really is, what we're being sold, and what we're actually seeing. Up until about a month ago, I was all in on AI, at the very least the version that is understood by the general public, the sort of AI brand. The version that's being marketed to us by Google, Facebook, OpenAI, Adobe, and others. But recently, I'm finding myself more disillusioned with what AI promises, and maybe more importantly, what it's delivering. Here's the inception of my hesitation. AI is largely being marketed on its future potential, what it could be someday, rather than what it can do today. Just look at the promises tech companies have, been making around AI. The narrative is riddled with when it's properly implemented in just a few more years, when it gets more advanced. But that when gives me some deja vu. These promises start to feel eerily similar to the hype cycles we've seen before, with things like cryptocurrency, Facebook's metaverse, virtual reality, 5G, all revolutionary when ideas whose when never came, or at least not on schedule. We live in an economy that prioritizes growth above all else. It's no longer about how much a company earns today, but how much it could grow tomorrow. And this growth at all costs mentality has become a defining trait of the tech industry. Ever since the dot-com boom, we've seen tech companies thrive on low startup costs, low barriers to entry, and huge venture capital investments. All you need are a couple of software engineers and an internet connection, and you can sell Wall Street this incredible story of endless growth. It's the classic American dream narrative. Start a company in your garage, and a few years later, it's worth billions, so you better get in on the ground floor while you have the chance. But that growth story is beginning to feel increasingly hollow. Today's tech giants aren't necessarily profitable. Instead, they're valuable because of market perception, future capital, and speculative growth. And I think there's a reckoning on the horizon for this model. AI just seems to be sort of caught up in the latest chapter of the speculative bubble. And, look at Meta, for example. They're struggling to stay relevant, even as they pour money into AI initiatives. And yet many of their recent moves, like Threads or back then WhatsApp, aren't even really original innovations. They're acquisitions. Companies like Meta aren't leading with groundbreaking technology. They're recycling and rebranding, and it just feels like it's to keep the growth narrative alive. Then there's Google's AI, which is struggling to integrate meaningfully into its own products, like search. And Apple has joined the AI bandwagon seemingly out of market necessity by adding intelligent features that feel more like novelties than breakthroughs, like creating your own emoji. Incredible, I guess. It's as if the tech industry is pushing AI because they feel they have to, not because they're genuinely advancing technology or have found a market application for it outside the simple sort of input and often unrefined output. It's another talking point to make it sound like their investment is getting in on the ground floor of something huge. And that's what concerns me. Tech companies are investing billions in AI, hoping to create the next cash cow, but I don't see where this payoff actually materializes on a sort of graphable timeline. There's this vague assumption that AI will one day be indispensable and profitable, which I have no doubt that it will be one day, but until we reach that point, these companies are spending far more than they're earning from it. And AI right now feels like a massive bet, one that's burning money on this unsustainable rate. And I keep asking myself, what are the legitimate limitations and material advances of AI? What can it actually deliver? And what rightfully deems it as intelligence? We don't even have answers to those questions. We don't know what we are investing in. Right now, we're seeing advanced language models, generative tools, and a lot of speculative products. But over the last few years, I haven't noticed any true leaps forward. I haven't seen the exponential progress that everyone is both fearing and anticipating. Friends, colleagues, family, companies, they're all telling me that amazing things are being developed, but until we see those products hit the market in a meaningful way, it's just speculation. How many more years are we going to be talking about in the next 5 to 10 years? I feel a growing responsibility to be skeptical. I think there's a disconnect between what tech companies are promising and what AI can realistically do right now. I don't doubt AI's sophistication or usefulness within a lot of boundaries. I don't doubt that we are on a fast track to something incredible. I use ChatGPT, Adobe's Generative Fill, every single day in my professional life. It has completely changed my workflow and the products that I deliver. I believe we are on a technological path to becoming a completely bionic species, seamless integration between natural chemistry and synthetic superpowers. But those are going to be developed over decades of incremental improvement and innovation. We will continue to reach really impressive benchmarks on this journey that will feel magical and exciting. But the pitch that, we're going to see some breakthrough that accelerates us into the world of our favorite science fiction movie in a matter of years, based on what? That feels more like a gamble, a proposition put forth by an industry hoping for the next technological jackpot. This speculative growth economy has burned us before. Think of 2008, when home lending paid the price of growth at all costs. Right now, I believe the tech industry might be facing a similar situation. I would like to be wrong on this, but it never hurts to have just a healthy dose of skepticism when someone is promising something ambiguous and huge in exchange for your money. More to come.